This is World News Tonight Sunday.
And when we come back, 2 survivors still suffering from a toxic nightmare that struck 2 decades ago. It is the 20th anniversary of one of the world's worst industrial accidents in one of the world's most impoverished regions, the gas leak at a Union Carbide plant in Bhopal, India. An estimated 25,000 people have died over the years from that disaster, and the impact of the tragedy and the controversy over who is responsible for it still linger and are the focus of our Sunday Spotlight tonight. In the early hours of December 3rd, 1984, Rashida B. woke to the sounds of terror.
He started hearing voices of people shouting, "Run, run, run from here." I ran with my father and my husband. My eyes and lungs were on fire. It was so desperate that even mothers abandoned their children and husbands abandoned their wives. People just ran.
27 tons of toxic gas had escaped from the Union Carbide plant. Some 7,000 people were killed in the first hours. Many were burned or buried without being identified, so the exact number is unknown. Amnesty International estimates 15,000 more have since died from disease, and another 100,000 suffer health problems. Shamba Devi Shukla's husband died of cancer. Her son committed suicide.
He had a very serious lung disorder after the disaster, and he couldn't handle the pain.
These 2 survivors, one Muslim, one Hindu, both poor, became activists, taking their battle from India to the U.S. and the doorstep of Dow Chemical, which bought Union Carbide in 2001. Union Carbide paid a settlement of $470 million to the Indian government in 1989. Payments were delayed by Indian bureaucracy, and survivors have received only about $500 per head, not enough to cover medical bills in most cases. Dow says it has no responsibility for an accident that occurred before it bought Union Carbide, and Union Carbide says its legal responsibility ended when it paid the settlement and sold the abandoned plant. Survivors call that grossly unjust. They are demanding that Dow clean up the site where they say polluted groundwater is still causing illness and birth defects. And they want Union Carbide and its former CEO Warren Anderson handed over to face criminal charges still pending in India. Rajan Sharma is leading a class action lawsuit on behalf of the victims in U.S. federal court.
I don't think that Dow Chemical or Union Carbide could have adopted this kind of intransigent posture and been so completely unyielding on all of these issues had something like this occurred in the United States or in Italy or Spain or France.
Ms. B and Ms. Shukla, back in India this weekend for the anniversary, say after many years, the message of Bhopal is being heard.
What happens in Bhopal should serve as a true lesson and should bring corporations under the control of people.
Bhopal, 20 years on and still relevant. Here in the U.S., the government has identified at least 2 chemical plants where an accident or attack could put more than 1 million people at risk.